Food doesn't just fill our stomachs. It shapes our moods, sharpens or clouds our thoughts, and fuels the emotional highs and lows of everyday life. The idea that diet influences mental health might sound obvious at first. Everyone has felt a sugar crash or a burst of energy after a balanced meal. But psychology and neuroscience are now uncovering just how deep this connection runs. Nutrition isn't only about calories or weight. It's about the chemistry of the brain, the regulation of emotions, and even the risk of developing psychiatric disorders. This is the domain of nutrition psychology, also called nutritional psychiatry, and it's rewriting how we think about mental well-being. The human brain is a hungry organ. It accounts for only about 2% of body weight, but demands around 20% of our daily calories. Every thought, every memory, every creative spark requires nutrients shuttled to the brain. When those nutrients are plentiful and balanced, the brain functions smoothly. When they're lacking or skewed by unhealthy diets, mood and cognition falter. Depression, anxiety, ADHD, and even age-related decline all show links to nutrition. Depression is a clear example. People who eat lots of processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined carbs tend to report higher rates of depressive symptoms. Meanwhile, those who follow Mediterranean-style diets rich in vegetables, legumes, fish, nuts, and olive oil consistently show lower risk. The SMILES trial in Australia demonstrated this powerfully. People with major depression improved significantly after shifting to a Mediterranean diet under the guidance of a dietitian, while a control group receiving only social support improved far less. Food acted like medicine. Why does diet have such influence? One reason is neurotransmitters, the chemicals that regulate emotion. Serotonin, tied to happiness and calm, is built from the amino acid tryptophan, which we get from protein-rich foods. Dopamine, linked to motivation and reward, is made from tyrosine, another amino acid. If our diets don't supply these building blocks, production slows. Protein intake, then, isn't just about muscles. It's about supplying the raw materials for balanced mood. Inflammation is another pathway. Low-grade chronic inflammation has been linked to depression and anxiety. Processed foods high in sugar and trans fats stoke inflammation, while omega-3, fatty acids, antioxidants, and plant nutrients calm it. Eating salmon, walnuts, blueberries, or spinach doesn't just protect the heart. It lowers inflammatory signals that interfere with mood. The gut-brain axis is one of the most exciting discoveries of recent years. Our intestines house trillions of microbes that influence neurotransmitter production, immune signaling, and even communication with the brain through the vagus nerve. Around 90% of the body's serotonin is produced in the gut. People with depression often have less diverse microbiomes. Diets rich in fiber and fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut encourage a healthier gut ecosystem, which in turn supports better mental health. Nutrition also shapes stress resilience. Cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes with high sugar, high caffeine diets, leaving us jittery and drained. Magnesium, vitamin C, and omega-3s help regulate cortisol and support calmness. Compare starting a day with donuts and coffee versus oatmeal. Topped with berries and nuts, the difference in stress regulation is profound. Blood sugar fluctuations matter too. The brain runs on glucose but needs a steady supply. Refined carbs cause spikes and crashes that lead to irritability, fatigue, and hangour. Balanced meals with whole grains, protein, and healthy fats stabilize blood sugar, preventing mood swings and supporting focus. Specific nutrients play starring roles. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish and flax support brain structure and reduce depression risk. B vitamins, folate, B6, B12 are essential for neurotransmitter production and genetic regulation. Deficiencies can cause fatigue, anxiety, and low mood. Vitamin D, often deficient in modern indoor lifestyles, is tied to seasonal affective disorder and depression. Iron is vital for oxygen delivery in the brain. Low levels lead to fatigue and poor concentration. Magnesium calms the nervous system and supports sleep. Zinc influences mood and immune balance. Together, these nutrients form the scaffolding of mental health. On the flip side, diets heavy in sugary beverages, trans fats, and ultra-processed foods worsen outcomes. They increase inflammation, oxidative stress, and gut imbalance. Their long-term, psychological toll is easy to miss, but significant. Eating patterns, not just nutrients, matter. Intermittent fasting may boost brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which supports learning and memory. Mediterranean, Japanese, and Nordic diets, all emphasizing whole foods, consistently outperform Western processed diets in protecting against depression and anxiety. Psychology adds another layer. Food is emotional. It's tied to comfort, culture, and connection. Emotional eating, or turning to food for stress relief, is common. While occasional comfort eating is harmless, chronic reliance on sugary or fatty foods for coping can trap people in cycles of low mood. Our relationship with food, whether mindful and balanced or guilt-ridden and restrictive, matters as much as nutrients themselves. Eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating illustrate this intersection clearly. These are not just dietary issues, but psychological conditions where identity, control, and self-worth play out through food. Recovery often requires both nutritional rehabilitation and psychological healing. Nutrition also links with sleep, another cornerstone of mental health. Excess caffeine and sugar disrupt rest, while magnesium and tryptophan-rich foods promote it. Because poor sleep worsens anxiety and depression, the dietary role in sleep quality is vital. Cognition and aging bring another dimension. Antioxidants in blueberries, turmeric, and leafy greens protect neurons from damage. Omega-3 rich diets slow cognitive decline. Nutrition psychology isn't just about stabilizing mood today. It's about safeguarding memory and mental sharpness. Decades into the future, social factors matter too. We mirror the eating habits of those around us, families, peers, even online communities. Marketing and food media shape cravings, linking processed snacks with happiness or status, even when they fuel long-term distress. Eating behaviors spread socially, meaning nutrition psychology isn't only individual, it's collective. So what can we do? Practical takeaways are clear. Eat more whole foods. Prioritize colorful produce for antioxidants. Include omega-3 rich sources like fish, walnuts, or flaxseed. Get adequate B vitamins, iron, magnesium, and vitamin D. Support gut health with fiber and fermented foods. Cut down on ultra-processed products heavy in sugar and additives. Just as important, build a balanced relationship with food, one rooted in joy and mindfulness rather than guilt or fear. Nutrition alone won't cure mental illness, but it forms a foundation. Therapy, medication, and social support remain crucial, but without nutritional stability, other treatments have less effect. Think of nutrition as the soil from which mental health grows. If the soil is depleted, even the best seeds struggle. The future is promising. Personalized nutrition, guided by genetic and microbiome analysis, may one day tailor diets to individual mental health needs. Omega-3 supplementation is already being studied as an adjunct to antidepressants. Psychobiotics, specific probiotics designed to influence mood, are on the horizon. The idea that we could prescribe diet as part of psychiatric care is becoming reality. The big message is simple. Mental health and physical health are inseparable, and nutrition is the bridge. By eating wisely, we fuel not just our bodies, but our moods, resilience, and clarity. Each meal is a choice that ripples through the nervous system. So the next time you sit down to eat, don't just think about weight or calories. Think about the brain. Does this food fuel stability, calmness, and sharpness? Or does it set you up for spikes, crashes, and fog. Nutrition psychology shows us that food is one of the most powerful tools we have for mental health, something we influence every day, 3 meals at a time. In the end, the promise of nutrition psychology is hopeful. It reminds us that simple daily choices, what we eat for breakfast, how we snack, what we reach for under stress, can profoundly affect how we think and feel. It's not about perfection, but about awareness and balance. By seeing food not only as sustenance but as care for the mind, we give ourselves the best chance at emotional stability, cognitive clarity, and lasting well-being.